Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Angela, as known as Stitching Brit, because I am from the UK, and on this channel this is where I share all about my cross stitch, and I cannot wait to share this week's with you. So today is Sunday the 26th of July 2026, and this week I have worked on 5 projects, and it was one of those weeks where it was a week of two halves, because the beginning of the week just seemed very busy and I didn't get hardly any stitching done in the beginning of the week, so most of the stitching came at the end of the week. Also, for anybody who is new, this is how I do my stitching. So each month I'm actually doing a year of new starts, starting this July all the way through to next June, and the new start is going to get 5,000 stitches, and then I'm going to spin a wheel for any current whips that I have, for one of them to have 2,000 stitches, and then each week that I come on here I'm going to spin the wheel for 4 projects to have 500 stitches on. And for the 5th day of the 500 stitches, I've actually got a rotation of 3 projects. You've only seen one so far, the other 2 are coming, I promise. I will be showing the one of those this week as well. But like I say, moving forward, I'm hoping to get the other 2 in the rotation as well. So each week it rotates. And yeah, so without further ado, let's get started. So my first project that I worked on was All Seasons Flower Shop, and this was my new start for July. This is All Seasons Flower Shop Max Colour. It's my first Max Colour, and this is by Lars Stewart, and this is what it will look like, trying not to get any glare. Oh, honestly, it's such a beautiful piece. I'm literally in, let me get the picture. I'm literally just in that top left hand corner. So I only actually got 114 stitches, so I'm really kind of nowhere near my 5,000 goal. And I know somebody commented about you know, don't worry about your goal, just like kind of stitch to enjoy it as a hobby. And it absolutely is a hobby for me, but I love setting myself goals. I do it in my personal life, in my work life, just love setting goals, and I love to achieve them. So not much different from when you last saw it, but I will show it. So I will put a before picture in for each of my projects, and this is what it currently looks like. I'm honestly not a fan of these colours. I've been watching a few Flosstubers, and Max Colour Stitcher, who was saying she doesn't like the tans. I'm really not a fan of these like orangey brown colours. Yeah, but you know, needs must. It's a beautiful design, like I say, Max Colours, and it's got 240 colours. And so this week I did 114 stitches, so I took the project from 0.31 to 0.35%. In total I've done 1,124 stitches, and I've got 324,226 to go, so still a long way. But I have worked out that sorry, I have a spreadsheet here with it all on, and I don't have anywhere to film where I can film and look straight ahead, have good lighting, and have a laptop leaning on anything. Anyway, I have worked out that if I do, I think it's 646 stitches a day, that I will meet my 5,000 goal. I am actually, after I film this video, planning on doing 1,000 stitches on this today, so that's really going to help anyway. So that's my goal today, to do 1,000 stitches. There's a few things I need to watch and catch up on, so I'm just going to do that this afternoon and do 1,000 stitches on this piece. So that was my new start. Now I didn't work on it, but I will show it. My 2,000 piece is Ornament Healing Rose by Carol Cavaleris. I can find the picture. There we go. And like I say, I haven't worked on it this week. It also got spun in the wheel a couple of weeks ago. So I actually wanted to do 2,500 stitches on it in total, which is here. So that, like I say, haven't worked on it this week, so there won't be a before picture with that one. Something I've just remembered, I need your help, guys. I want to go back to my previous project, this one. I do need your help. There's a couple of things I need your help with today. So in this project, where's my pattern keeper tablet? Here. I have a very tiny tablet. I just didn't want to go and buy another tablet. I'm an Apple girl, and yeah, and it won't come on now. It's very, very slow, but you know, it does the job. It only needs one app, right? So no, it's not going to play game for me. So basically, in the design, it calls for colour 971, and 971 doesn't exist, but it then suggests 740 as a replacement for 971. However, this chart has got 740 already. So would you choose another colour, or would you stitch all of those two colours in the 740? Let me know what you would do. And sorry, I flitted back. Yeah, just something I remembered. So anyway, so those are my two, if you like, focus pieces. So then I did my stitching on my 500 stitch projects. And again, I will put before pictures in for each one. So the first one was Heart Melt. This is by Donna Gelsinger. This is what the original chart looked like. And this is how I've cropped it. And this week I did exactly 500 stitches. Oh, and I should have said I'm kind of trying to get all my projects now to the typewriter method, going across the row. So a bit like, so Sarah's Stitching Mummy, I think she started this method, literally picking a symbol in a 10 by 10 square, left to right, and the Max Colour Stitcher just does the row, and I really like the whole row thing. I didn't quite, I was kind of getting it to this point, but I didn't quite do it in that way. I literally just picked one colour and just went across. Because this colour goes to the end of the project. So this is what it did look like. And this is what it looks like now. So I'm only one square away from the end. And then when I've got to the end, I will go back and fill in all of this bit here to get a row, and then I would just carry on down in exactly the same way. So this one, my goodness, I haven't even been telling you what like fabric anything's on. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's just recap. So All Seasons Flower Shop is on 22 count, and Ornament Healing Rose is on 18 count, 2/1. All Seasons Flower Shop is 1/1, and this is Heart Melt is on 20 count, 2/1. Just love it. And like I say, that's the start of the penguin, but yeah, just love it, love it, love it, love it. Okay, so let's see if I can like get myself together for the rest of the video. I don't know what it is, but when I come filming, I'm like, I know what I want to say, but then I don't say it all. So apologies. Anyway, so the next one, oh, I didn't even tell you the stats on Heart Melt. So Heart Melt, so I did 500 stitches. In total, it is 7,486, which means I've taken it from 10.78% to 11.55%. And I've still got 57,314 stitches left to do. So then the next one, which is Story Keep Beach Bliss. So this is by Amy Stewart, and this is what this one will look like. Really fun piece to stitch. It is quite long, so yeah, but almost like quite short across the top, so yeah. So this one I have been converting to the new way that I want to stitch, which is the typewriter method, going across the row. And this one is stitched on 18 count, 2/1. Pop a before picture here. And this is where I have got to. So I almost finished the row, almost. Definitely will finish that next time, but I just love this piece. But you can kind of see how big it is going to be. It's going to be a very, very big piece, but yeah, look, I can get the whole row in camera shot. So yeah, I will definitely be finishing this piece next when it when the wheel spins it again. But yeah, just I can't wait for all the colours. I think there is a bird coming in about here, but I think I will only probably get to that on the second row, maybe. But yeah, this is such a gorgeous piece. I've realised with all the pieces that I pick and I share that I go for really colourful pieces. So that was that one. That I did 500 stitches on, and I moved it from 3.21% to 3.73%, and altogether I have done 3,594 stitches, which means I've got 92,831 left. So then I spun Quick Stitch Spirit of Winter Robin by Ciro Marchetti, and that is this one, my one and only round piece. I just love robins. I think I said this a couple of weeks ago, but the week I moved house a few weeks ago, bearing in mind it's summer, really hot here in the UK, we're going to get another heat wave. This robin came to my garden every single day in the week leading up to when I moved. Yeah, anyway, so that's what it will look like by Ciro Marchetti. And with this one, again, I will pop a before picture. I was basically stitching in the parked threads first of all before I went on to my new method of stitching, because I've been doing this in various ways of stitching. I just wanted to stitch in the parked threads and to stitch those threads out as well. So this is what it now looks like. So I definitely did a bit more round here, just that bit, and then I did a bit more in its head as well, and I've still got these two, so in next time the wheel gets spun. But that was exactly 500 stitches, and this is stitched on 20 count 2/1. That was my preference of fabric until I found 22 count. That is definitely now my favorite. And this one had exactly 500 stitches, and it is now 8,426. It went from 20.02% to 21.28%, which means I have got 31,161 stitches to go. And then I pulled out mini virus detected. That was the next whip. So this is what it would look like. This is by Randall Spangler, one of my oldest whips. And I think I told you guys that I had an issue with Pattern Keeper one time when I was using it, and Pattern Keeper just went blank, and then I had to put all the stitches back in Pattern Keeper, and I still hadn't done it. I'd done some, well, quite a lot, but I hadn't done all of it. And what that meant was that I needed to spend time doing it, and I couldn't be bothered, just could not be bothered this week. I'd rather spend that time stitching. If I'm not going to stitch that, I'll stitch something else. So I need your help. Is there an easier way to mark off like a 10 by 10 block, especially if it's got loads and loads of colours in, that I don't have to go through each and every colour? Or do I just stitch on it and not worry about the percentages or how many stitches I've done, how many stitches I've got left, or I just spend like a few hours on it? Because I like the chart, I love the design, I just don't love it enough to restart it. So let me know, what do you think I should do with this one? I will be intrigued to hear from you guys. So anyway, like I say, the bottom line was I just didn't work on it. I don't want to UFO it. I want to stitch on it, but I don't know how I feel about not having the percentages and stitch count and stuff. I don't even think I showed you, but anyway, this is on 20 count 2 over 1. This was my first ever project on 20 count 2 over 1. Sorry, move the part threads out of the way, but yeah, I mean, it's such a gorgeous piece. I love Randall Spangler pieces, but I just don't know what to do. I'm somebody that likes, I'm rubbish at maths, but I like the numbers. So I like to know how many stitches I've done. I like to know the percentages, but I don't want to sit there for ages and ages and ages trying to find where all these stitches are and put it on Pattern Keeper, doing one like symbol at a time. It's, yeah, it's a little bit infuriating. But if you've got an idea of how I can do it, then please let me know. So I obviously didn't stitch on that one. So this is when I decided to put one of my 3 projects that I'm going to be doing into the rotation of 500 stitches. And I've got one here. So the first one is World Travel Bookshelf. And that is what it's going to look like when it's finished. This was a project I restarted. I had started it on 20 count 2 over 1, and I think I'd got to about 20,000 stitches, which in the grand scheme of things was only 5% of the chart, and I just really didn't like the fabric at all. So because I'd found 22 count, I decided to restart it, which I think I started that, was it this month or last month? Anyway, recently. So I will pop a picture of where it was before, and this is where it is now. And I meant to do 500 stitches. I did 510. I just wasn't looking properly, but anyway, just love it, love it, love it, love it. This design is so beautiful, so colourful, and just love all these colours. But I will absolutely love just going across the row and just getting much more of the design in. So I'm more than happy to move my nudge frames each time I need to. That's no problem at all. And so yeah, like I say, 510 stitches. So this is, like I say, 1 over 1 on 22 count, and I really, I can't tell you how much I love it. I didn't think I would love 1 over 1, and I've had a long gap of not stitching, and I came back to Flosstube at the beginning of this month, and I just decided to try something new, and I just loved it. I'm not great at trying new things, so really quite proud of myself for that, but yeah, really love it. So yeah, like I say, so this has now got 1010 stitches. I will get it back to the even number. I love the even number idea that Anne from Max Colour Stitching does. And I think there's a few others. I think Jen, Caffeinated Crafter, I think she's looking to get all her projects to an even 500 or 1000. Definitely what I want to do as well. So I will get this one back to that. So yeah, 1010 stitches, which means it's gone from 0.12% to 0.25%, which means I've got 405,490 stitches left. can't wait. So those are my projects. So this one and two other projects I haven't quite started yet, but I am getting closer to starting them. They are going to be in my weekly rotation each week. So I've worked on World Travel Bookshelf this week. I might get to start one of the new ones for this coming week, and then it'll be the other one the week after, and so on. And I'll do that for the 3 projects. So they get 500 stitches sort of every 3 weeks. So that is everything that I worked on. So now let's do a wheel spin for what I am going to work on this week. So let's now I know I've only got 2 things left on the wheel, but I just want to spin the wheel so that everything's been spun, so it doesn't come up, hopefully it doesn't come up early, and also so that I can see which order I do it in. I like to know the order as well. So the 2 things are, well, let's have a look. So mini, it'll be mini something. So mini checking it twice. That will be the first one, and then obviously the second one will be obviously Mini Deer Creek. So Mini Deer Creek, well, you might think, well, hold on a minute, that was spun a couple of weeks ago. Yes, it was. Again, I didn't like the fabric. It was on 20 count, like a ivy green coloured. I don't know if it shrunk in the dyeing process, I don't know, but it was just getting so hard to put the needle through. There were so many colour changes. I started it in the Royal Rose method, and yeah, just changed my mind on that, and it was so hard to get the needle through. I just thought, because I was doing it 2/1, that was why it was so hard. So I just thought, no, I'm going to restart it on 22 count, 1/1. I have the fabric where I cut World Travel Bookshelf. From that bit of fabric, I have got enough space to do Mini Deer Creek and a new start that I have already got planned in October. So let's reset the wheel. So we need 2 more projects. So yeah, reset the wheel, and Ornament Healing Rose. So that's another 500. So that will now be 3,000 stitches this month. Of course that was going to happen. Of course. So it's fine. I love stitching on it, and I'm absolutely prepared to do whatever the wheel throws at me. And the last one is the one I worked on last week, Beach Bliss, which is great. I can get to the end of the row. Right, let me just write this down. Okay, so I am going to grab these projects and I will be back to show you. Okay, I'm back. So the first one that I spun was Mini Checking It Twice by Donna Gelsinger. This is what it will look like when it's completed. And this is one I started in June when I came back to sewing. Again, I really didn't like the material I had originally done it on. It was on a 20 count pearlescent fabric, and I didn't like the pearlescent part, and I realised I couldn't iron it, so I actually got a piece of 25 count because I hadn't found 22 count at that point. So I got 25 count, so I started it on that, much happier, 1/1. And I was kind of doing that method where I pick the symbol left to right and work along the row. So this is going to be my starting point, and I will give you all the figures and everything about it next week. But yeah, it's only going to be this big. Like, yeah, really lovely. And I quite like the 25 count. But like I say, when I found 22 count, game changer. But like I say, I'm not starting this one again. So that was that one. Mini Deer Creek is, like I say, one that I'm restarting. And this is Why is it not working? This is technology, isn't it great until it doesn't work? Right, so this one is what it will look like. This is a mini as well. Obviously I've got all of the floss for that, so that's going to get started on the 22 count. You've already seen Ornament Healing Rose. That's obviously going to get another 500 stitches in. And then Beach Bliss I have just shown you as well from what I stitched on this week. So I'm going to stitch on those projects. I am going to see if I can start my my other 500 stitch piece. I'll see if I get started that. If not, I will do another 500 stitches on, or 490 stitches on World Travel Bookshelf. And then obviously at the weekend it is August, and I have got a new start planned for August. Another max colour piece as well. I've chosen I've got all my Euro starts planned. I know exactly what I'm doing for the next year in new starts. Some of them are max colour, some of them are minis, some of them are quite small pieces, some of them are supersized pieces. So yeah, I've got a mix. I just decided to I love Heaven and Earth charting. I have looked on other websites and nothing actually takes my fancy. So yeah, if I like Heaven and Earth designs, then I'm going to stick with that. So yeah, so as next week is August, I will be back, and I think I will do my 2000 wheel spin next Sunday. It's only like the 2nd of August next week, so I will do my 2000 wheel spin. So that will be a new project that I will do 2000 stitches on in the month, unless of course it gets called for the week. So I will just carry on the 500 wheel from where it is today. I'm not going to reset that for a new month, and again, like I say, the 2000 wheel I will carry on from this month. Hope that makes sense. Anything else I need to say? Life update. No, the reason why my Stitchy week was a bit in two halves is because my mum had a few hospital appointments, and she needed to go get some new glasses. So and it all takes time, because obviously my mum still needs a new hip. She hasn't heard any more about that, but it all just takes time to get her out and to these appointments, because obviously I need to take her to these appointments. So, and also I have to fit in work as well. I am self-employed, so that is handy, but I still have to fit in like a day's work even if I have anything going on. So yeah, that's basically it. Otherwise it was just normal work, nothing new. So hope you have had a great week. Hope you have a lovely stitchy week, and I will see you back next week. Bye for now.